Drake. Oof. Powered by guitar. Microphone sounds fuzzy. Hold on, let me try it. Any better? Alrighty. And I've got some booze, so this should be a fun night. Alrighty. Let's get right into it. Let's see. Switching over here. Let me get the audio on. There we go. Oh, wait. No. There we go. Turn that down a little. Enjoy that nice 1-2-bit music. Alright, let's see. Okay. Oh, right, the color scheme thing. Don't ask again. Let's continue. Alright. So, these are quick play, but I believe customize the playthrough means that we're getting a full scenario. I think to have a little peek into what it's like, we're going to start with the spine-chilling story of School Scissors. A tiny section of the standard playthrough showcasing one of the available mysteries. City of Shiokawa, Japan, 1980X. Something strange is happening in our town. Rogue figures can be seen gathering in the woods at night. People are going missing. Disgusting creatures are terrorizing the seaside. The rapid technological progress of the modern era brings comfort, but also new, unknown threats. Old gods, malicious, eldritch beings who ruled the earth eons ago, are awakening as reality starts to crumble. Armed with clues, spells, and your dwindling sanity, you'll investigate mysteries across the city and in realms beyond. An old train slows down and stops at its last station. The end of the world is at hand, and you've finally arrived in the doomed town. Alright. Story so far. You've been following the weird cult for weeks now. Barely surviving the encounter with the skin hag at the nursery, it's a race against time and you can't rest until our town is safe. I'm gonna leave the combat tutorial off. I can explain what's going on. Alright, let's start the mystery. Spine-chilling story of School Scissors. Another boy from your school has disappeared. Rumor has it, a terrible woman has returned from the grave. A woman with the widest smile. and the sharpest scissors. You knew your friend was up to something when he left you his notebook full of cryptic notes. I can send her back where she belongs, he claimed. After he disappeared too, you decided to study the notebook for clues. It details a ritual that can stop the wicked woman once and for all. What's the worst thing that could happen? Alright. The school is eerily quiet at this hour. Your missing friend has left you a notebook. If the rumors are true, to stop the tall woman with scissors, you'll need to perform a ritual to force her material form to appear in our dimension. Accomplishing this requires first the drawing of an eldritch sigil, and then the lighting of holy candles. You can only hope your friend has left them somewhere around the school. Well, time to start exploring. Impossible angles and seemingly moving lines make your head spin. Non-Euclidean 101. School. It's in the middle of the day. We don't have Ikumi, so we can't do this option. How is this possible? -1 reason. So basically, you have 2 health bars. If either one of them reaches 0, it's game over. One is your stamina, which is your physical performance. The other is reason, your mental performance. Let's see. Blessed chalk, not found. Holy candles, not found. You feel like something horrible is happening within the school. You must hurry and find those items. The Yellow King? You were stopped by a girl you haven't seen in months. But how could you? She died in an accident. The Stalker Girl. Okay, so this is how we see the combat. Alright, let's see. Support actions? Requires an ally. So 1 all, that means not only will she deal 1 damage of stamina, but she will also deal 1 damage of reason at the same time. So... basically what we do is we have a meter of 200. Our actions take up different segments of that 200. So... pick your actions carefully per turn and apply. And she bit me. Okay. Enemy regained a little health. And there we go. Wait, what's that? You found an item, the occult diary. -3% doom. Okay, so that's the meter up here at the top center. Basically, if we take too long to do everything, it's instant game over. This is like the short version, so we don't have to worry about that. But if we do like full versions, then if we do full runs, then yeah, that's gonna be a thing to worry about. Okay, resolve combat. Something evil stalks the empty school corridors. You found an additional page from your friend's diary. It seems that the blessed chalk was left on the roof. You must hurry and find it. And now we have the option to peek outside. Oh god, nope, 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 nope. Nope. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Nope, 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 nope. Okay. Explore the school some more. On the roof, you find the girl your friend was talking about. In one hand, she holds a bag. In the other, a pair of bloody scissors. Maru. Ooh. She looks like she's been put through the ringer. Marked by the Scissor Lady. -1 all. So same conditions as the Stalker Girl earlier. Alright. And this ought to finish her off. Okay, let's see. Anything we can do? Don't have enough experience. Alright, so one of our options now is that we can redraw the sigil. Alright, nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's check storage. Okay, friend's diary. Alright. The sigil can weaken the demon for a while. Careful with the lines. Maru is acting strange. I need to talk with her after class. I hope she didn't attempt the ritual herself. I've hidden the candles in one of the classrooms. Tomorrow I will try to perform the ritual. Okay, this one's all crossed out, but from what I can tell, it says, a strange tall woman has been following me around all day. I must hurry up. Okay, so triangle and a squiggly. Okay. That's not quite right. That right? That's not it. Well, I gotta go looking for the, holy candles anyway. Let's see. Cauterize. +2 stamina. One time only. Yeah, I could use that. Trophy case. You find an old trophy case set in a seemingly abandoned corridor. Everything inside is covered in a thick layer of dust. One medal seems particularly valuable. I think I'll check the plaques and trophies. Luck check failure. You find a small trophy with a curious plaque. Grand Champion of the Cannibal Eating Contest, 1956. -2 reason. Oh boy. Anatomy class. You hear a faint sound while walking outside the biology classroom. Inside is an old anatomy model, its heart beating. The sight almost makes you sick, -1 stamina. You found the holy candles in your friend's backpack. You lit them as instructed by the notebook. Everything is ready for the ritual. Now to see if I did it right. Wait, what's that? I still don't think I did it right, and I don't think it gave me the option to do it right, but here we go. Sigil and holy candles don't seem to have any effect on the horrible monster. Have you drawn it wrong? Frozen in fear, you watch as the twitching horror gets closer and closer. It raises its enormous scissors and croaks. Am I beautiful? Prepare for combat. Twisting and twitching, the demon woman enters the classroom, cackling menacingly. Am I beautiful? Scissor woman, horror. Okay. So this is how we messed up the this is what happens when we mess up the ritual. Okay. Because if you do it right, she actually looks more relatively normal. Alright, 30 HP, does 2 damage to everything. Alright, I'm gonna have to remember that I have that. Oof, that's rough. I missed that. Okay. Okay. Doubles all damage dealt during this turn. Okay, I can work with that. Oh. I'm almost dead just from losing all my reason. That's not good. I might be boned this time around. Frozen in fear, you watch as she gets closer. Her sharp scissors are slowly cutting through your cheeks as she asks you, "Am I beautiful?" And I was killed by the scissor woman. Damn it. Well... that didn't end too well. Saving loading is disabled due to rework and will be back after the Halloween content update. Alright, well... let's see. The option will prepare the standard skeptic playthrough for you, allowing you to start the game without worrying about in-depth stuff for now. I think I'll go for the full experience. Well, quote-unquote full experience. This option will start a new playthrough, randomly selecting character, old god, background, and more. Okay, so basically, for a full playthrough, we get to pick which eldritch god we have to deal with. And depending on which one you pick, you get random effects. Well, not random effects, they're tied to each specific god, but they're different depending on which one you pick. Yada yada. Alright, which one will we get? Oh... the Eternal Web. Katagatorasu is once again awakening from its slumber, blinded by its impossible-to-satisfy hunger. It has started to tear down the walls of its cocoon prison. Stop it before it devours us all. Old gods rule. You can't escape from combat encounters. Okay, so we have to commit to every fight. Alright. Let's see. Do your home. Check your mailbox, it's empty. Back in your home, you think of your next move. Let's see. Status. You. Level up? Oh, right. Don't have enough experience. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Take a peep through the peephole. Whoa. Probably just my imagination. Let's see. TV. Once a year, a ramen shop appears where there was once an alleyway. The ramen sold inside is made from its former patrons, but can cure any health problem. What, they straight up actually say it? Okay. Let's see. Found a new item, empty bottle. Alright, I guess we'll start a new mystery. Inexplicable and morbid events have been plaguing your town for some time now. You've marked down 5 of them, hoping that there is something connecting them. You would tackle these 5 mysteries in any order you want. Beware, your decisions will haunt you and influence yet unsolved mysteries. Okay. Hey, Kirizul! Sorry, late response. I was kind of absorbed into the game. Okay. Scoot this over here. That way I can see the chat easier. Alright, let's see. The spine-chilling story of the school scissors. Hopefully we'll have better luck with this one. Alright. See what the friend's diary says. A square squiggly. Okay, so I just need the chalk and the candles. Let's start looking through the school. The investigation is taking a toll on you. You start to miss the most obvious leads. +4 doom. Ooh, that's not good. You feel like something horrible is happening within the school. You must hurry and find those items. Impossible angles and seemingly moving lines make your head spin. Stare in disbelief. -1 reason. You found an additional page from your friend's diary. It seems that the blessed chalk was left in the pool. You must hurry and find it. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. You enter the damp-smelling sport wing. You notice a backpack drifting on the swimming board in the middle of the pool. Could it be what you were looking for? Ooh, enter the water. Usually that's a bad idea in this kind of situation. Suddenly the water turns murky and you realize you're not alone in the pool. Prepare for combat. A bloated figure emerges from the murky water, blocking your only way out of the pool. Ew. Alright. This one's gonna focus on my stamina, so... launch sequence. Okay. Defeated the bloated teacher. Found blessed chalk, which you can use to draw the sigil in the ritual. It was a square and a squiggly. Alright, now we just need the holy candles. As you enter the school gym, you notice a strange black doll propped up against the wall. Against your better judgment, you approach the doll. What you see makes you gasp in horror. The doll isn't a doll. Your sudden movement causes tiny black spiders to flee, revealing a white, half-eaten corpse. Sound of scissors is getting louder. You must hurry. Alright, looking through the schoolyard. A tall woman with an unsettling face and twitching lips stops you. I'll be your new biology teacher. Could you help me move some stuff to my new office? Help her? Luck check failure. The creepy substitute teacher hands you dusty old biological specimens. The rancid smell of formalin almost makes you drop the jar. Should fetuses have so many legs? Found the holy candles in your friend's backpack. You lit them as instructed by the notebook. Everything is ready for the ritual. Okay, here we go. You take a step back as the writhing amorphous mass slowly takes shape. It soon becomes a tall, woman-like creature with 3 faces, all connected by a wide smile. Now it is your chance to fight and defeat this horror. It is also your only chance. Prepare for combat. Twisting and twitching, the demon woman enters the classroom, cackling menacingly. Am I beautiful? Gotta deal with a Kuchisake Onna. And she does 2 damage to both stamina and reason. So I gotta be very careful. Okay, seriously, I used prep attack. How did 2 of those attacks miss? Man, I'm getting torn up real bad. Okay. Let's do that. And boom. I got a slit mouth. Shit. -1 charisma, -1 strength. Yeah. Minor injury, but looks nasty nonetheless. Smile. Ancient Horror lies dead on the classroom floor, slowly dissolving into nothingness. You find your friend, gravely wounded but alive. You help him and you limp away from the school as the police sirens get louder. Spine-chilling story of school scissors, ending A. Well, that could have gone better, but we did beat it. The Scissor Woman is gone for good. Or is it? You shudder, knowing the urban legend will inspire another kid in another city to try and summon the Eldritch being. +30 experience, there's still hope, -3 doom. Tireless, +1 reason and stamina. Okay, that's good. Time passes, +1 day. The old god stirs. Click here to reveal its effect. Dangerous bands of rioters are gathering around downtown area. The police are hopeless. Topical. Inside your mailbox, you find a small key. What is it doing in there? Take the key. Get back to the town screen. People? I saw that. Alright, let's see. Check the TV. Some of our readers report a strange tall man dressed in white taking the metro after dark, apparently stalking lone passengers. Please take care and avoid traveling alone. Let's see. Status. Still not enough to level up. No spells. Let's go ahead and take a bath. Dang it. And I used up my empty bottle. Let's try EXP boost. Not as much of a boost as I was hoping for, but let's see. Okay. Back. The ghost gray mist enwrapped the whole town. Alright, let's try one of the other ones. Rotten report of a rancid ramen. Sorrowful saga of the Moonlight Sailors. Far out fable of a fear festival. Freaky feature of found footage. Rotten report of rancid ramen. Out of thin air, a brand new ramen restaurant opens in town. It's adored by everyone. Once people take a bite, they can't stop. Day and night, the queues stretch out the door. The shambling customers stuff themselves dish after dish, while the blind owner sits silently behind the counter, grinning and polishing his gleaming knives. You are determined to discover what makes this ramen so enticing. What is its true power? Dog meat? Human meat? Flesh of the gods themselves? To advance this mystery, investigate the circled location. As you progress, the location and the rules may change. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do... okay, I've got 4 funds, so... First thing I'm gonna do is head over to the hospital. Let's see. There we go. Treatment. And some blood loss. -10 max stamp. Minus 10% max stamina. Ugh. That's not so good. Okay. Alright, pharmacy? Let's see. I should probably have a weapon. On the other hand, sewing kit. I've got 5 knowledge. Okay. Equip. Alright. Go ahead and travel to the apartments. You knock on your friend's door and wait. I'm really busy today. Let's hang out some other time, okay? Oh, out of funds. Let's see. It's a bad time to be out of cash, says the grim-looking man who's standing in your way. Our company, fortunately, specializes in cases like yours, and will gladly help you get back on track. After all, he takes a step closer, and you can swear there is a faint smell of rust around the man. Everyone has something to sell. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. Jar of Blood, I think, sacrifices your stamina to get you some funds. Fondest Memory, I think, sacrifices your reason. Peace of Mind increases the Doom meter, but you otherwise get funds without sacrificing anything. Plus 5 Doom, plus 2 funds. The man smiles, handing you an envelope. You feel like you've made a huge mistake. Next move. As you prepare a bath, you think about all the possible leads so far. You're very tired, so maybe ice-cold water is a good idea. Strength check success. Ice-cold water revitalizes you and you're ready for the investigation. Plus 10 experience. Nice. The only true way to investigate is to get into the restaurant yourself. So I guess I have to travel to downtown? I can share some information. I think I give 15 experience for 1 fund. Detective thanks you for the information and hands you the prize. Okay. Shop for items. think I'll get the sewing kit as a healing item. Ooh, or... yeah, the sewing kit would probably help more. A random discounted item, huh? An empty bottle. And a blue gem. Oh, okay. Empty bottle. It can be used to store liquids. Alright. Item storage. I want to put the blue gem. Whatever. Okay. Travel to apartments. The Wired Preacher. Excuse me, do you have a moment to talk about our real Lord and Savior? The day of reckoning is coming, says the voice on the other side of the line. You definitely don't like the way the man on the other side of the line puts the accent on real. Hello? Are you still there? I'm gonna play it safe. Hang up immediately. You put down the phone, a little shaken up. Just how many people did that odd man call today? -1 reason. Oh, I thought it was gonna give me +1. Alright, travel to downtown. The only metro line in your town connects the university and the science complex. You could take a ride to gain some time, but you've got a feeling something's wrong. Where are all the people? Take a ride? Luck check failure. Something is clearly wrong. There are no lights inside the metro car, and all you can see are countless handprints pressed onto the windows. At this rate, I might game over just for running out of reason because I keep failing those stupid checks. Request more police patrols? Lowers the combat encounter rate. Okay. Let's see. Stop right there! You hear a voice coming from behind you. You won't destroy my life's work! Oh, Jesus. God, that is a creepy face. Okay, oh wait, actually, hang on. I am equipped, aren't I? Let's see. Much lower chance to hit, but it's a lot harder. Ooh, lucky. It's finally your turn to order. 1 ramen, please. The owner's grin widens. Experts are baffled by the sudden appearance of 20 stone statues lined up in a row in the middle of the O Park. You can cast one spell without paying anything. I don't have a spell, so... Resolve the event. The Red Bull is pushed in your face. It's so crowded that you're forced to sit on the floor. I don't think any restaurant is allowed to do that, so that already is a red flag. The roads seem to twist and turn when you're not looking, trapping you in this neighborhood. I might be boned. You spend hours trying to find a way out. Finally, completely exhausted, you end up on the main street as the passage to the blighted neighborhood slowly closes behind you, plus 2% doom. And I did it without looking behind me. I just had to turn left at the post box that had a pile of dog shit in front of it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fans will know what I'm talking about. Oh. With a slick hand, you fill a vial with the soup and walk out, without tasting the weird dish. With the pulling of some delicate strings, you get the ramen into a lab. While handing over the gathered material, you hesitate. What should you send to the laboratory? Just the vial of ramen soup. Lab results partial. A mere day later, your friend rings your door. Her face is pale, and in a shaky hand she holds an analysis sheet. You usher her in and bolt the door. You feel ill looking at the charts. While they couldn't identify some of the particles, they did discover a highly addictive drug in the broth. The ramen restaurant must be closed immediately. A week later, police and an official stand where the ramen restaurant used to be. Nothing remains but a gap in the street and aimless, confused customers. You'd like to believe that was the end of it, but snippets in newspapers from other cities unsettle you. Brief articles about an exciting new ramen restaurant opening and its mysterious owner keep showing up. You could no longer eat noodles without feeling ill. Ending B. Plus 30 experience, minus 3 doom, plus 1 reason and stamina. Time passes 1 day. Got enough experience to level up. Yay! Okay. Hot bath. Improved resting at home. Discipline. Regain 1 stamina for all past event skill checks. That's pretty good. Art knowledge. Plus 1 perception. You've got an eye for art and details. I don't see what determines the luck stat. I'm gonna go with discipline. Hope my bullshit no jutsu serves me well on that. And... yeah, I'm gonna need more stamina. Actually, no, more reason. Okay. The old god stirs. Click here to reveal its effects. Roads closed. Roads leading out of town were closed by the police. You'll have to find a new way out. Village, mansion, and forest investigations cost 1% more doom. Eee. That's not good. Okay. So we have the riots. We have the roads closed. Take the key. Let's see. Let's regain some stamina. The search for a missing person continues in the forest surrounding Shiokawa. If you have any information, please contact the police department. Actually, wait. Is there anything else we could do? Oh, don't have a VHS set. Local dentist has been found guilty of implanting dog teeth on their human patients. Motive is currently unknown. What? Why the hell would somebody do that? It's a nice day outside. Alright, next mystery. Sorrowful Saga of the Moonlight Sailors, I guess. It began with one fisherman who dragged something truly awful from the belly of the ocean. A dark, writhing ooze that mesmerized him beyond control. He hid himself away for a week, adoring it, not to be seen until one moonlit night, when a young girl spotted his boat drifting away. A single lantern swinging at the helm, and the captivated fisherman singing eerily to his catch. Now more and more fishermen have begun to find the vile oozes in their nets, and one by one they are disappearing. Soon the ocean will have taken them all. Okay. Investigate downtown. Bad feeling. Despite your best efforts, you feel like the neighborhood is starting to change. Location's threat level increases. Ooh, dangerous. -1 modifier to all skill checks. Stamina and reason penalties increased. Ooh. Although you braved the stench for hours, you gleaned nothing besides the fact the fisherman had a wife. Perhaps you should pay her a visit. Let's travel to the seaside then. I only have 1 funds. I'd rather not. Let's see. Something pulls you toward the beach. A statuette, half buried in the sand, is calling you. Feeling your hands shaking, you take a step closer. Let's ignore it. Strength check failure. A sudden wave of dread paralyzes you as you stare at the menacing statuette. You manage to escape, but its gaze is forever burned into your brain. And we're hit with curse. Brain damage. -2 knowledge, but plus 10% max reason. Alright, travel to downtown. Alarmed by the sound of glass breaking, you discover the corpse of a policeman lying in a pool of blood. It looks like someone or something tore out his throat. Check the wounds for clues. They didn't tear out its throat, but instead carved an occult symbol with something sharp. You try to remember the shape and escape before anyone arrives. Plus 15 experience. Let's see. Hooks and nets. Discard 2 item cards to complete this quest. There we go, storage. Alright, travel to the mansion, huh? When you arrive at the fisherman's house, it stands long vacated. Peering in through the dusty window, you recoil in shock. Let's see. There's a local legend about a heartbroken seamstress. One stormy night, she broke into a local inn and stitched the unsuspecting guests together. Her final, gruesome artwork. But that's just a legend, right? Rifle through the cupboard. Gows! Okay. Inside the cupboard, you find a sewing kit and decide to leave the room before any legends spring to life. Good call. The fisherman's wife lies in the kitchen, mutilated and covered with black marks. And I got a spider bite. Putting your hand in that hole was a bad idea. Seeing the big spider escape, you hope it wasn't poisonous. I believe this is an event specific to the eldritch god that I'm fighting. Since it's a spider god, of course I get bit by a spider. Let's see. So, the injury. Status. So we got a spider bite. It's minor. Hopefully it'll go away on its own. Let's see. Enter the doctor's office. Can I at least heal the brain damage? Modern medicine can't help your shit. Okay, so it'll have to be the bite. And I'm out of funds again. Okay. Surely someone else must have caught one of these. You look around hoping to spot one of them. Found a new item, Hasty Aid. Suddenly the air around you begins to whirl. A supernatural wave of freezing wind is approaching. Gonna have to brace myself. Strength check success. The sudden blizzard disappears as fast as it began. You leave the beach quickly. +5 experience. Nice. Hasty Aid. When receiving a combat stamina wound, replace Hasty Aid with a new random injury. Uh-oh. That's gonna be sucky. The young man has glassy eyes and mumbles his replies between caressing his catch. The beating movements in his arm disturb you. You can't shake the feeling that those small dock buildings hide some terrible secrets. +2 Doom. Alright. Okay. After a slow interrogation, the young man manages to stutter out something about an organized fishing trip. The waves lazily wash on the shore. You take a deep breath. The fresh sea air clears your head. +1 reason. Okay, that's good. Let's see. I can sell this item for fun, I guess. You slip out at night and race towards the beach, terrified of what comes next. Target location. Investigate the beach. The full moon shines bright in the cloudless night sky. The ink-black ocean waves glimmer eerily. All the residents have drawn their shutters tight and locked their doors. Your footsteps are silent in the sand. The only sounds are your ragged breathing and pounding heartbeat. You arrive at the water's edge, breathless. The possessed fishermen's boats fill the horizon with their light. Tiny yellow spots navigating across a dark ocean under a dark sky. You cannot make out the figures on board. Hypnotized, you watch as they bob their way out of the harbor. Their lanterns move farther and farther away, and you hear the odd chanting slowly fade with the wind. You stand in the cold until the final boat is out of sight and it is pitch black again. There's nothing to do now. You head home, weird chants still in your head. No one spoke of the fishermen after they sailed off. Grieving mothers would not let their children anywhere near the cursed beach. Over time, people forgot the last time they saw a boat out on the waves. Ending B. New events available. Plus 30 experience. Minus 3 doom. Plus 1 reason and stamina. Plus 1 day. Fetid fumes. The air feels heavy, making it hard to breathe. Alright, what's that mean? Your rest action is less effective. Ah, shit. Alright, heading home. Okay. Inside your mailbox, you find a small key. What is it doing here? Okay, so 3 out of the 5 keys. Status? I think I just need to take a warm bath. We rating Tan or Jam? We'll have to see. Okay. Just shy of leveling up. Excuse me. Let's see. There's that. You don't see anything weird. Change clothes? Okay. Gym clothes. Sakhalin. Teacher's pet. That's a nice movie poster. Alright, let's go ahead and start the new mystery. So we've got 2 left. Far Out Fable of a Fear Festival and Freaky Feature of Found Footage. Three students disappeared in the process of making a documentary about local folklore and the legends of the nearby forest. Now, on the first anniversary of the event, a suspicious man has started asking questions. He claims to be a private investigator hired by the parents of the students. Except, the parents of your friends didn't hire him. Who is he? And what did the students discover out there? 3 students disappeared in the process of making a documentary about the local folklore. Maybe you'll find a clue about their last known whereabouts in the school's newspaper. Investigate the mansion location twice to complete this quest. Huh. Okay, let's investigate the school. While you walk through the crowded space, someone bumps into you and quickly apologizes. Perception check failure. Before you realize your wallet is missing, the thief is long gone. Trying to figure out what yokai was behind the ramen. Might just be Soylent Green all over again. Alright. The notes mention a village not far from your town. You decide to take a bus. Getting closer, you can't help but notice a large number of trees that have suddenly died. What happened here? You know what? I'll try this. I'll try getting that, witch story thing out of the way. Twisted reflection. In the mirror, you catch a glimpse of something that shouldn't be there. Cadaver theater. Corpses are strung up on wire like macabre marionettes, with painted smiles and rosy cheeks. The legends say the witch was buried alive for kidnapping and murdering 2 children. Points you in a specific direction, potentially saving you some time. Well, I don't have any funds, so I can't go to the shop. And there it is. Okay. I'm gonna sacrifice some peace of mind. It's a fair amount of doom, but... Everyone in the village is unsettlingly friendly. An old farmer points you to an old stone. The missing group supposedly started their forest trip there. Alright. A lavish dinner. A friend returning from a trip to Africa has invited you to dinner. This time they've outdone themselves. This is a real feast, full of exotic meals. It's getting late and you can't stay for long, but the host asks if you want to take anything home with you. That wine is terrific. Of course, I have enough bottles to last a whole year, your friend says, handing you a bottle. Alright, what's the wine bottle do? +3 reason, flip this card. And I guess if I flip this card, it becomes an empty bottle. Foreign, dry. Let's go ahead and use. As for the level, let's see. Faster offensive actions. +1 dexterity. Art knowledge. I think I'll go for the quick thinking. And... maybe I just need better perception. Okay, so discipline and quick thinking. Let's see. Looking back one last time, you continue deeper into the woods. Click a square to explore it. The route must be here somewhere. Safe. No modifiers or skill checks. A sudden storm forces you to find shelter in a nearby cave. Looking around, you discover strange markings on the cave's walls. Try to decipher them. Knowledge check failure. You wonder what it could all mean. Drooping tree branches hang over the path, framing it in an almost macabre way. It's almost inspiring? Get a grip. You quicken your pace and leave the menacing path, -1 reason. You find a pile of human teeth lying on a nearby rock. Hidden cults. Dark forces scheme against you. You don't know who you can trust anymore. Another curse. Oh, right. Hangover. Because I drank the wine bottle. Now I'm branded. Chance of raising doom each investigation. Oh, that's gonna suck. Juboko. That's a man-eating yokai who would reasonably have access to drugs, being a tree who could grow this stuff. Could be. Small cocoon. You wonder what kind of animal the spider caught in its web. You scare away the annoyed predator and rip open the cocoon to reveal a human finger. Patina ring. +1 dexterity, -2 max stamina. Surprisingly light. Do I want to lower my max stamina? Let's see how this goes. The site of the ritual. The rumored witch house seems empty. In the basement, however, you find a camera pointed at a large hole in the ground. On the table next to the camera, you see 3 cassettes, each titled after one of the missing friends. Then you hear a curious sound coming from the hole. Peek inside. You kneel down and lean forward to see what's inside the hole. It takes a while to process what you are looking at. It's a gigantic eye, staring right at you. Hypnotized, you continue to lean in, feeling weaker and weaker as the gargantuan beast lures you in. At the very last moment, the suspicious tall man grabs you by the collar. He explains he is part of a cult protecting the house and the mysterious entity below it. "You've got a bigger purpose than to die here," he says before knocking you out. You wake up a few hours later on a bus heading back to your town. The forest is restless. Knowledge is key. Thorough investigation. There's still hope, -3% doom. Tireless, +1 reason and stamina. Alright. Oh, that's looking dark. Arcane storm. Local scientists are baffled. An unprecedented Aurora-like event has bathed the entire town in an unnatural green glow. Ooh. That's pretty spooky. Alright. Reason cost of all spells is increased by 1. I don't have any spells, so I'm good there. Demolition of an old inner-city shrine has resulted in an array of unfortunate accidents, and, most recently, the death of 6 people suspected of the arson. Let's see. Bath. I think I'll go ahead and increase reason. Let's see. Access your storage. I just have the blue gem in there. Alright. Doom is 63%, so I've got to be very careful on this last one. A far-out fable of the Fear Festival. Your aunt had sent you a letter inviting you for a curious-sounding festival. It's held every 27 years in a small village. You don't like the sound of it, but your parents both agree. You need a break from all the stress. Inside the letter, there's a bus ticket. What's the worst thing that could happen? You ask yourself as you board the bus. 2 for 2. Today's goal, explore the weird village. Just when you thought your stomach couldn't handle it anymore, the janky old bus stops at its destination. You get up and take a deep breath before looking around. It's a small village, and the nearby fields are surrounded by a thick forest. Someone is waiting for you? A fat man wearing dusty overalls approaches you. It's the inn owner, who promised to pick you up. Following close behind him, your eyes are drawn to his hands, which are so deformed they resemble claws more than hands. Oswald Cobblepot? Alright. To progress this mystery, choose actions that will advance the clock. As you learn about the terrible secret of this village, more actions will unlock. Okay. Check out your room. Inn's room is dusty, like it hasn't seen any visitors in years. You wonder if anyone cleaned it since the last festival 27 years ago. There's a folder of available activities lying on the table. Onsen sounds good. Hot spring feels great. Finally, you can relax for a bit and enjoy the warm water. Alright, that was a free action, so enjoy the festival. There's still some time before the festival starts. The locals are seemingly busy setting up stands and decorating the place. A few stands are already open, but you can't shake off the feeling something is wrong. It's getting late. Look for friends? You stumble into your friend Fujiko. I need to move some stuff. Can you help? -3 stamina if agreed. Yeah. Okay, so Fujiko is in our party now. Kick action deals additional 1 damage. Okay, nice. Talk with her. Did you hear that? Never mind. Alright, explore the weird village. Also, I just realized I have a ninja companion. I have a subordinate. No one answers when you knock at Professor Takeuchi's door. This is odd, since he's normally punctual about his appointments. The smell of blood tells you that something's wrong, and you quickly open the door and make your way inside. There's no sign of the professor, but the quantity of blood everywhere leaves little doubt as to what has happened. But how, and why? Scavenge the room for useful items. Failed a perception check. You search the room but can't find anything. The sound of police sirens forces you to jump through a broken window and you're injured. -2 stamina. Let's see. I guess it's time for me to use that sewing kit. Shouldn't you ask a doctor to do it? Alright. A weird sound wakes you up. You step closer to the window and look out. You can't see anything and get ready to go back to bed when suddenly the moon comes from behind the thick clouds. 3 hooded figures are standing at the forest's edge. One by one, they light their torches and disappear behind the trees. What was that about? Who are they? They all wore strange masks. Should you follow them into the forest? or try to find more information about the festival. Oh. Onsen. Alright. An old priest is performing a ritual to appease a local demon imprisoned underground. You're invited to join them. Shimokage. Something shadow? See about kindly refuse. Old man frowns and walks away. Unseasonal floods have closed many of the roads. Look for an alternative way. You wasted a lot of time looking for a safe path. Let's see. Going back to the inn, you overhear two masked villagers. They're talking about something awakening up at the next dawn. You wonder what's up with that. It's not safe here. You decide to block entrance to your room with a nightstand. Festival is ending tomorrow and you can't be too careful. I guess it's time to explore the woods. Wet splash behind you makes you stop. You slowly turn around to see a young girl slowly walking in your direction. In her eyeball, there's a swarm of disgusting worms. One of them falls to the floor with a wet splash. Okay. Strong attack. Yeah, okay. How did I? Hello? Why is... Is she not affected by physical attacks? Okay, I hit her. Also, just noticed she does 3 stamina of damage. Ew. Up. Okay, what is going on? Why? Why is it not letting me do anything? Okay, let's see. That was weird. Okay. Oh. I basically gave up Fujiko. I messed that up. She doesn't seem particularly strong health-wise, though. Parasitic organism burrows under the bark, undulating slowly. Needs steak knife item for that action. Knowledge check failure. The bark is flabby and sticky. It makes you recoil in horror. -2 reason. Why is it so quiet all of a sudden? Is that blood? Where is everybody? Trail of blood and sickly smelling sludge leads to an outskirt of the village. Somewhere in the dark forest, there's an answer waiting for you. 4 actions until sunrise. Alright, I'm gonna be very careful because I'm running pretty high on the doom meter, so. You discovered an old campsite located on the edge of a small clearing. The tent has been knocked down and food and utensils have been scattered everywhere. Search the tent. Luck check failure. The sleeping bag has been torn to shreds. The amount of gore inside leaves no doubt about what happened to the owner. -2 stamina. Ew. Okay. Following the ghastly music, you find yourself in a forest. The sound is getting closer. Ugh. Okay. 20 health. 2 stamina. Is that... This is very Yoko Taro. I think you're thinking more Junji Ito. Because I don't think Yoko Taro came up with this disturbing stuff. Base chance to hit. Currently your chance to hit is lowered by 23%, so... Ugh. Crap. Torn muscle. Deal -1 damage in combat. Shit. Oh, thank you. This is gonna be close because I'm almost full of the doom meter, and if that happens, it's pretty much game over. While wandering through the woods, you discover strange carvings on one of the trees, and, by the look of them, they were made recently. Could they be connected with the current mystery? Nope. Knowledge check failure. Can't tell what the strange symbols mean. Wandering aimlessly in this forest, it will take some time before you pick up the trail again. An abandoned factory. This must be the place where they took everyone. Even if I complete this mystery, I don't think I'm gonna be able to beat the Spider God. While exploring the factory, you are caught by masked people you've seen from the inn's window. Tied up, they bring you to the cult leader. "We knew you'd come," you hear a raspy voice. Your aunt's voice. Coming from behind the priest's weird mask. She signals towards the door behind him. "Our master is waiting for a final blood sacrifice." With a loud bang, the ancient horror disappears, and the high priest falls to the floor, grabbing their shoulder. The last thing you see before blacking out are the beams of flashlights and a hand of a police officer saving you from the fall. Later that day, the detectives interrogating you are confused when you tell them about the ritual, blood, and eldritch being. Village is abandoned, with no trace of blood anywhere. You were the only one seeing the ancient horror. Also, hi, Dice Lord. Okay. While you couldn't catch the leader of the cult to interrogate them, the people are safe. You board the old bus, wondering what would happen if you didn't stop the ritual in time. Allies and perks? Status? Just enough. Okay, smaller doom penalty for running from combat. Well, I can't run in this scenario because of the spider god, so that's useless. Improved resting at home. This should make up for... Let's see. Let's go ahead and fix up our stamina. Ooh. Winds of Plague. A weird epidemic keeps staff at the hospital busy. Skipping the line will cost you more. Okay. Well. That's the last key. Alright, I don't have an empty bottle on me, do I? Nope. Okay. Regain stamina. Time to head to the lighthouse. The ominous lighthouse has been closed down for longer than you can remember. Multiple padlocks prevent you from entering the building. You need 5 keys. Alright. Enter the lighthouse. Finally made it inside the cursed lighthouse. Your gut is telling you 2 things. That whoever or whatever is behind the weird events must be on the highest floor of this place and that you should run as far as you can. You're afraid there won't be a way back once you start climbing these stairs. Start climbing. Not gonna make it at this rate. Following the winding staircase, you were stopped by a metal gate. A tiny page nailed to the gate explains that opening the gate will require you to grab 2 metal rods. Using your own body as a natural conductor, you will power up the gate. Grab the rods, electricity flowing through your body and burning the nerve endings. The pain is almost unbearable, but with a buzz, the gate opens. Oof. We're not gonna make it. Trial of Blood, Acid. Following the winding staircase, you find a metal gate that blocks your way. The cable that should be powering it is currently disconnected. The power box itself is covered in a weird, moist goo. Just inhaling the fumes makes your eyes twitch and water. But to power the gate, you'll need to disconnect the faulty plug. This is gonna hurt. Not enough strength. You're surprised how much effort it takes to disconnect the faulty plug. As you force it, the weird goo burns your fingers. Finally, you manage to separate the faulty plug and connect the proper cable. With a buzz, the gate opens. Okay, so I guess the question now is this going to be right away, or is it going to be when I'm done with the whole thing? Let's see. It says Doom End. Following the winding staircase, you were stopped by darkness. A thick black cloud is obscuring your vision, and you can swear something is waiting for you inside of it. You finally brave through the veil. You finally emerge a while later safe. You can't, however, explain the blasphemous whispers you heard. Yep, I took too long. Just shy. Takatarasu is free once again. The invisible strands of the spiderweb slowly cover the entire city, entrapping everyone, including you. Wrapped in a cocoon, suspended in a near-death state till you wait days, months, or maybe years until it's finally your turn to be eaten. Organs liquefied by Takatarazu's venom. Well, that sucked. Chuaxi9247. Welcome to the stream. Continue. There we go. Alright. And Quaxi, thank you for the follow. I think I'm gonna try it one more time and then we'll call it a night. Let's see. Shit, True Believer, Harbinger of Doom. I guess that one was Cultist. Death mode, sudden death, dropping below 1 stamina or reason will kill you immediately. Just like in real life. Let's go for quick play. Try this again. Alexandria 48 BC. The supposed cause of destruction of the Library of Alexandria, a perfect black marble statue, has been recently rediscovered and is currently waiting in the museum of our town from its premiere. Both you and enemies deal extra damage this time around. Okay. Alright, let's see. Ooh, we're much better off this time around. Let's see, we got a camera. Okay, +1 knowledge. That's good. Check your mailbox, it's empty. Oh, we also get a bottle of wine. And a movie poster here. Let's see. The TV host is getting a big octopus. At least that's what she claims, because there's way too many tentacles. Alright, let's get started on the mysteries. Let's see. Curious case of a contagious coma. Bloody brief of a beckoning bulletin. Freaky feature of a found footage. Eerie episode of evolving eels. And horrible history of household hell. There are many old mansions around this town. 000 Manor is one of them. Supposedly haunted by a family of 4 who disappeared without a trace one summer. But is it the only tragic event that took place here? Friends you've talked with are not sure where the mansion itself is located. You have to find the mansion first. A trip to the library may shed some light on it. Let's see. Study old tomes? You carry out a dusty tome to the main reading room. Interpreting the old, incomplete translations is a tedious task. Finally, you find the fragment you were looking for. Got a new spell. The Kinpa Ritual. When your allies die, a random status gets raised by 1. That's... Not gonna lie, that's kind of a sucky... It's kind of a sucky spell to have. Like, good in context, but you'd have to lose a comrade. Make notes. Hopefully all your work won't go to waste. Maybe if I get another tome. New spell? Cauterize. Ooh, that could be helpful. +2 stamina, 1 time only. Yeah, that could be more helpful. Alright, investigate the school? It's dark, but you could swear something suddenly moved under the surface of the water. Turn on the lights? Luckily for you, no horrors lurk in the water. Okay. Study the current mystery. Okay. The building was supposed to be somewhere near the cliffs. You copy the mansion's photo from the newspaper and prepare to leave. Travel to downtown. While you walk through the crowded space, someone bumps into you and quickly apologizes. And I lost some funds. Comparing different mansions with the sketch, you finally find the one. There's only one problem. You will need a strong rope to enter the mansion through the high window. Investigate the seaside? Take it home. Statuette is surprisingly heavier than it looks. Mesmerized, you take it home and wonder where you'll display it. It's a bad idea. Items? Make it through the window. This is the abandoned mansion your friends have talked about. Let's explore it. Sculptures. You enter the art classroom. The room is cluttered with half-finished sculptures and bizarre masks hanging on the wall. One sculpture strikes you as eerily realistic. Yeah, let's check out the sculpture. The head of one sculpture looks so lifelike. You move closer and raise your hand nervously to touch it. It falls off. Headless person stumbles out of the sculpting classroom. And it's reaching for your head. Okay. Combat sequence saved. Okay, so. Alright, huh? Lord. There we go. You've heard a weird noise coming from the locked study. You must find a key. Like a mansion's room to explore it, huh? Cadaver Theater, lose some reason. Overgrown garden. Walking through the forest, you spot a pair of legs sticking out of a bush. Before you can do anything, however, they twitch and move. Ooh. Ouch. Okay. Offensive actions. I'm getting beat up pretty hard here. This must be the place where the key is. Alright. The investigation can wait. A hot bath is too inviting. We're kind of hurting. Let's take it. Okay, tower window. The round window of a crooked manor tower is calling you. You feel your strength drain away as you stare at the bright light. Fight this feeling. You don't have the strength to move a finger. The blinding light is growing larger and larger. To your shock, you can't feel the ground under your feet. -1 reason. Lost in time and space, you drift in nothingness until something pulls you toward the light. Oh! A parasitic star is looming over the dying civilization. Is this the fate of our planet as well? Let's see. Itotu, the devouring flame. Man. Jeez. Time to cauterize. Following a suspicious person, you enter old, run-down mansion. It stinks like spoiled milk and has only 2 doors, one of which you just came through. You can't see the strange man anywhere. Search the room. There's nothing really important here, but you think you might be able to use the one item you do find, a broken bottle. Ooh, fast to equip. Let's use it. chilled like ice. Hey, happy almost birthday. That's right. My birthday is this coming Wednesday. Man, I'm gonna be an old fart. And that's scarier than anything this game could throw at me, I think. Old fart powers activate from the form of bottle of ibuprofen. What are we, the Wonder Twins? Alright. Shape of mystery back pain. The whole building begins to shake as you enter the room. Suddenly, a stone pillar bursts through the floor where you stood just seconds ago. Noticing the arcane symbols painted on the stone, you take a step closer. Study the symbols? You recognize some of the symbols from a stone tablet you saw at the museum. What's the connection? I've only got 3 more locations to check. There it is. You aren't sure what to expect. A sturdy door to the study opens with a creak. The dark, dusty room is empty, but something feels wrong. A faint draft, perhaps. You move the rotten carpet aside to reveal a secret passageway, cut directly into the cliff rock. Take your way down. Oh, this one. Following a strange song, you discover a hidden passage that leads you to an underground chamber connected to the sea. You can't find the source of the sounds, but then it hits you. The acoustics of this place makes the waves sound like the most beautiful serenade. Mesmerized, you step closer to the stone altar at the end of the room. Explore some more first. You try to explore the side corridors, but it's too dark. If only you had some source of light. Unholy chants coming from the caves connected with the mansion must have driven the family insane. With no connection to the outside world, they fed on what they had. Themselves. However, this doesn't explain the fresh corpses and wet tracks around the altar. Oh. The friendly dog disappeared last night. You'll have to find a new place to buy equipment. Great. Alright, we got 1 key. How are we doing on status? We're pretty roughed up. I'm gonna gain some stamina. Light switch? Weird, nothing happens. Can't see anything. Alright, peephole? Someone is standing in the shadow, watching your door. Why can't we age like Luca did? In other words, why can't we just avoid aging? Because we're not Keanu Reeves. Seriously, it's been like, what, 2 decades at least, and that guy hasn't aged a day? This one we're familiar with. Freaky feature of found footage. 3 students disappeared, yada yada yada. Investigate the mansion location twice to complete this quest. Kenna, Betty White, and Luca Jin have all discovered the secrets to immortality, and they won't share them with the world. You were startled when you discovered that headless body. You were horrified when you saw its head hanging in the middle of the room and laughing. I have that, Okay, the broken bottle is equipped. Let's save that. And launch the sequence. Did I seriously? I even prepped my attack. Or wait, no, that was a... Yeah, additional 10% chance to hit, so what the hell? Oh, it's because my attack has such a low chance to hit. I didn't mean to unclick that. There we go. Not looking too good as far as reason is concerned, but I did just get a level up. Okay. Folklore studies. +1 knowledge, knowledge of various rituals and regional myths. Improvise. Throwing items during combat encounters is more effective. Extra experience bonus for completing a mystery. That might come in handy. Let's investigate the mansion again. You find a heavy tome wrapped in moth-eaten black velvet in an old locked cabinet. When you remove the book's wrapping, you recoil in disgust. It's bound in human flesh. Do we take it? Do we read it? Do we burn it? Your head swims at the countless blasphemous voices. +2 doom, plus curse. Insmasu look. Mutation. The ocean is calling. Okay. The legends say the witch was buried alive for kidnapping and murdering the 2 children. Alright. -1 stamina for that. The notes mention a village not far from your town. You decide to take a bus. Getting closer, you can't help but notice a large number of trees that suddenly died. What happened here? Something is wrong. You don't see anyone on the street, and you could have sworn it was crowded just a minute ago. You'd better hurry out of here. Travel to the village. You had no idea that the funeral you've been invited to would end with the guests slashing their heads to feed the deceased with their blood. You stay at the back, shocked by how grotesque it is. Suddenly, the guests turn their heads in your direction. Ooh. And if only I got the folklore studies perk. Using acute anemia as your excuse, you convince the mourners to make an exception for you. That's lucky. Alright. You have a feeling that you're being watched. When you hear a branch snapping, you quickly turn around. There is someone standing in the trees just a few meters away. Confront the person. Decomposing skin and vacant stare can only mean one thing. It's a corpse someone has propped up. The idea of someone to do it so close to you and so quietly makes you shudder. The suspicious group you've been following is gathered in a nearby forest. They're enacting some sort of ritual in a clearing up ahead. The only nearby vantage point is a large rock. Attempt to climb it. You fall down and injure yourself. Luckily, you manage to limp away unnoticed. Ah, man. What is with this? What's the black hair do anyway? Combines with sewing kit. Okay. Abandoned hut. The investigation is taking a toll on you. You start to miss the most obvious leads. There we go, the site of the ritual. I think, let's go with the take cassettes and the run this time. Forest tape. Seemingly broken, but maybe you can find a way to repair them. Who could help me with that? New effect. The whole town stopped receiving any outside signal. It must be a radio mass failure. Alright, let's see. You're home. How's my status? I think if I get just enough of an experience boost. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Take a peek through the peephole. What's that? Probably just my imagination. Alright. Eerie episode of the Evolving Eels. Bloody brief of a beckoning bulletin. Curious case of a contagious coma. As the decades roll on, technology has only developed further. These days, computer bulletin board software allows computers to communicate over phone lines. All it takes is a computer and a modem, and anybody can connect to a bulletin system, or even host one of their own. Once you connect, you can read all of the messages on that bulletin and even post your own to start a conversation. Many use them to share files or to chat about their favorite topics, everything from video games to sports to idol culture. But in the wake of a sudden string of weird suicides, things aren't all fun and games. Rumors have surfaced that the deaths are linked to a bulletin system operated from somewhere within Shiokawa. What is behind the suicides? How could so many people all be driven to take their own lives? Even if the rumored bulletin system's phone number is found, there is no hope to investigate without a computer that can connect to it. Maybe the school library has one that will work? Investigate the forest location twice to complete this quest. Okay. Start in disbelief, yada yada. decipher them. Knowledge check success. There we go. Ooh, fast hands. Switching equipment during combat encounters. Let's see. Reporter's bag. Additional inventory slot. That might be helpful. Leadership. Charisma. Natural ability to guide others. I think I'll also go with I think I'll also go with reason. Okay. While the school's library computer doesn't have a modem, you happen to bump into a member of the computer club while asking around. She apparently just got a new system and is willing to let you borrow hers. Thanking her, you arrange to meet her at home in the city. Checking Forest one more time. What you thought was just a discarded pile of clothes suddenly moves. As it stands up, a cloud of white powder is released to the air. Kinoko Gatherer. Oh.
Guys, it's him. The infected mushroom.
Let's see. Dodge? This is not looking good. No. Screw it, run. After searching deep in the woods for some time, you discover the body of a young student clutching a note. I write this for everyone wanting to stay behind. The sacrifice is worth it. Life's meaning comes from our relationships. Share death and that connection will last you. There won't be anything left but us. Everyone here is waiting for you, so if you lose your resolve, just listen to the voice of humanity. Okay. Screw it. I'm gonna have to stop by the hospital. As part of the therapy, some patients took part in art classes. Some of their work fills you with dread. Yeah. What are the, Okay, let's gain a reason, get rid of that spell. I'm gonna have to try again to see if I can get healed at the hospital. Paranoid patient. When the patient came home one morning covered in scars and babbling about aliens, the police had them committed. They're mumbling something quietly as you pass by. You immediately understand that the only difference between you and the crazy person is that you haven't been caught yet. You convince them to sneak out and join you in your quest. Kyoko. Okay. Got an ally for that. Now, if I could just heal... You can't help but to notice the terrible smell of decay coming from a lady standing with you in an elevator. Can't help but to notice the seam on her face. Can't help but to scream. Alright, plus 5% doom, plus 1 extra damage. Ooh. I'm just trying to... There we go. Okay. The sewing kit. I'm an idiot. The button was right there the whole time. Right, screw it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna botch this one, so... There we go. Okay, yeah. Okay. Investigate downtown. I got a curse. Another Insmasu look. You lug the cardboard box full of PC parts up your apartment's stairs, teeth clenched as you heave it up one step at a time. God damn, our computer's heavy. Huh, Kana's not home. I should check later. Let's see. Struggling artist. Wow. Minus the glasses. I feel called out. Mr. O, your neighbor is a horror manga artist. He's struggling to come up with a satisfying ending for his newest story. Share your experience? Not enough experience. Sadly, you don't have any recent stories that would help him. At least the public won't experience the same horrors that you did. You wipe the sweat from your brow as you finally finish setting up the computer in your bedroom. After a few tests, you're now certain that everything is functional. The newscaster on the TV says that the suicide rate is still climbing. Worse, the morbid trend is beginning to catch on in other nearby towns. You need to act quickly. Not wanting to wait for an elevator, you decide to take the rarely used stairs. You suddenly trip but grab the railing at the last second. When you get up to inspect what caused you to trip, you freeze in terror. It is slowly standing up.
Well,
This is a ghost type enemy? This action requires funds. I don't have any funds. Alright. Hoping to find a lead, you head to the hospital. With how many deaths there have been, the hospital is in chaos. The staff looks exhausted. When the receptionist lets her head down onto the desk for a minute, you slip out of the waiting room and into the hospital corridors. What an award-winning smile. Sleeping nurse. You enter the hospital looking for information about a certain patient. The main corridor is dark and strangely empty. You spot a nurse at the registration booth. She's asleep from exhaustion. Sneak past her. You manage to sneak past her and rummage through the cabinet. Finally, you locate the information you were looking for. Alright. You overhear two nurses talking about a girl whose suicide attempt failed. Apparently, she's recovering at her grandparents' home at a village in the city outskirts. You exit the hospital and make your way to the nearest bus stop. A sudden growl coming from behind a corner makes you stop. Yee! And I'm dead. Resisting the unknown horror was taking its toll on your health. Weakened, you finally succumb to your injuries, alone. As the dust settles upon your open eyes, reality starts to crumble. The old god is ready to return once more. Man. This game is hard. Alright. Let's see. This game is pretty fun, but man, is it hard. So, who are we rating? Given the time, I'd say we check and see if Proton John is on yet. Let's see. Yes, he is. In fact, he is just going live. So, let's see. Let's see. We have our raid target. Now the question is, what should our raid message be? Should we just go with the classic, nobody expects the Shinobi Inquisition? Yeah. Uh, 225 star. Alright. What really bums me out about the spider one is that I was so close. I actually had better chances with the second situation, and I did worse. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and raid Proton John with Nobody Expects the Shinobi Inquisition. Let's see. The next time I stream will probably be this coming Friday. So, unless I decide to do early afternoon streamings in the meantime. Alright, let's go ahead and raid, and I will see you guys later.